I want to show you a way to use social media that is very much like the strands in this rope. It can be wound together to produce an incredibly powerful voice for you and for your business. And at the end of this video, I'll give you a secret recipe that you can start using today that defeats the algorithms every single time. So I'm going to take you quickly through two different methods. One is what most people are doing. Two is something I've just created in the last 7 days that is getting huge results. The first way is the broadcast method of using social media. And you'll see that everybody's talking about how it's all about the content now. It's broadcast, good content wins all the time, bloody, bloody, blah. The problem with this method, though, let me be frank, is you have to be really good at creating content to get a result. It actually takes a while to get really good. And you're looking to find your people using your voice. And the problem with this method is that it takes dollars for people to be able to see your content with the way the algorithms work. It also takes a lot of time to build up a reputation with the algorithms, and it's also very dependent on the algorithms, and if they change, this has happened many times with Google, you're screwed. And so what we see here is a dependency that's very costly in terms of money, costly in terms of time, and very worrisome in terms of what happens when the algorithms change. Do I lose the ability to find clients and to grow my business? What I want to introduce you to now is something very cool that I can't share the entirety of because I'm teaching it only to our Sphere Builder Academy members this week, because if I taught it to everybody, they would probably end up shutting it down somewhat. And so you can see here, this way works more like that rope that I was talking about. So your voice is still very important, and we still want you to be really sharing your content here. But instead of having a goal of finding your people, our goal is to go on a mission. So you want to be very clear what your mission is and who belongs on your mission. And we work this strategy with just 100 amazing people. So if you have 100 contacts on social media, this will still work. But instead of it just being about your voice, it's about their voice too. And you can see here that it becomes much stronger because we're creating what we talked about before, which is a rope of many strands. And a rope of many strands is one of the strongest structures on earth. It won't break. And we see straight away that you can start making money, you can start getting clients, you can start defeating the algorithms, so you have a lot of power, you can start having an impact. And the results are stunning. My engagement in the first few days is already up 3 times. This is including in Facebook groups, which have got a lot lower. It's including on Instagram. It doesn't really depend on the channel. This method is just all about your voice and not about the channel. And it's as much about your voice as it is about your mission. And it's about relationship building. And that's why you win, because we're using content to build relationships, not get clients. This is super exciting stuff. If you want to know more about how to use it, just type engine underneath this here. When social media was first created, everyone was very excited because it gave voice to people who didn't have voices. It took the power away from regular media channels, and it gave the average human being a chance to express themselves, build an audience, grow their business, and people were thrilled. What's happened over time is typical, is that things go back to giving power to people with money. And that's exactly what's happened on social media, where now we see celebrities, really good looking people with a huge amount of influence, get all the attention with the algorithms, with the big content building teams, and everybody else is struggling underneath the table looking for scraps. And this method takes the power away again from the social media companies and from the elite level of person who has all the money, and it just says, no, the power to connect is still there, the power to express is still there. Let's start to bring that back. And what I want you to understand is that you don't need a huge audience to work with this. What you need to be is clear on your mission. What are you trying to achieve? And to be clear on exactly who should be involved. And we start involving those people in our content in a very silky, seductive, creative way that starts conversations. And let's face it, if you are talking to people and having the right conversations on a regular basis, You will sell. And one of the problems with traditional selling now is that people are so aware of unnatural forms of selling, of cold calling and door knocking, etc., that our defense mechanism has gone right up. And this is a very natural, organic way of using social media that gives you all the conversations that you need to reach any goal that you have and to find the people you really want to do life with. And so we need to go back and have a quick look at what your ideal business consists of in a dream world where you don't have to fight for scraps under the table anymore. So if we were to come in here and just look at this really carefully here and go, okay, my goal in life is to work with people who pay me the amount of money that I want, who give me the respect that I want, who give me the energy that I want. I think if we're honest, the average person's arc is occasionally they work with an ideal client and then they spend a lot of time with average ones and too much time with people here who really are not ideal, and then they find someone up over here, and then they're here, and then they're here, and then they're back down here, and they're here, and then they're here. And so we end up having not a lot of work satisfaction because we're often working with people who don't give us the respect, the money, or the energy that we really need to thrive. But if we were to draw this line here and say from now on, I don't nurture anybody below this line. This is my line of toleration. Like I won't tolerate anything below there. Then what happens is we start instead to build relationships with our content relationship engine with people who are more here, and our business follows our conversations. And so we end up with more business of a higher value, and we end up with more respect and more energy, and just the quality of life here. The quality of life is so much higher here than it is down here, which really just sucks. And so my goal with our content engine, in fact, the entire Sphere Builder model, which I'll share a little bit about with you in a second, is to make sure that the quality of your life is enhanced by your business and not stolen. So what does that look like? I said at the start of this video that I would give you the recipe for creating your own rope. This is actually my daughter's skipping rope, which is perfect because she skips with a great deal of joy. And I want the same for you in your business. And what I need you to understand is the old way of working, the old way that everyone else is focusing on is about quantity of content, being everywhere, getting a huge number of likes, followings, and comments and all that sort of jazz. But it doesn't bring joy. And the secret recipe for you to have a huge amount of success in your business is to use social to connect with just 100 incredible people who are above that line of toleration for you, and to have amazing conversations with them on social with our content strategy. And from those conversations with those 100 connections, we're looking for 20 people who have the influence and the power and the sheer magnetic ability to bring you 1 to 2 deals each a year. That leads to so much joy and takes the power away from social media companies and big organizations and puts it right back in your hands, which is what you've wanted all along. If this is resonating with you, if you want to find out more about how we do this, type the word sphere underneath this video, and I'll see you on the other side.